It's February 20th, 2025. We're at TD Garden, and for the first time in over a decade, we're seeing best-on-best action with Team Canada and Team USA in sudden-death overtime. There's no gold medal on the line, and it's in a tournament that didn't even exist just a year ago. Yet the stakes and meaning of winning this game are still somehow as important as it's ever been. Whoever can be the OT hero will forever cement themselves in hockey history. And both teams have had weapons that have looked poised to end this game. But some players are destined to live up to the moment. It may be the NHL offseason, but summer is still packed. You got concerts, baseball games, shows, whatever it is, you name it. And if you're heading to any of it, SeatGeek is your go-to move. SeatGeek is the best and easiest way to score a deal on your tickets. They rate every seat from a score of 1 to 10, so you know exactly what kind of deal you're getting. If it's red, it means that deal is no bueno. If it's green, that's a banger, and you should snatch up those tickets. The best part is SeatGeek is hooking us up for the summertime. You just got to use code HOCKEY15 at checkout, and they'll give you 15% off your next order. You know, if you watch the channel, I use SeatGeek all the time to catch Leaf games during the season, but it's not just for hockey. For any live event I go to now, I use SeatGeek to get some sweet last-minute deals on all of my tickets. So for your next live event, make sure you use code HOCKEY15 to get 15% off your next purchase. All you gotta do is just click the link in our description down below to get the best seats in the house while scoring a great deal from SeatGeek. Let's go back to 2014. Team Canada just won their second straight gold medal in men's hockey at the Sochi Winter Olympics, and with a new era of young talent coming in, fans were very excited for the next generation of hockey to step in and clash on the biggest stage. And 2 years later, they got a taste of that at the World Cup of Hockey. But instead of the full national squads like Slovakia, Germany, or Switzerland, the NHL grouped all the countries together to form Team Europe and also introduced Team North America, which consisted at the time of the very best players under 23 years old from both the United States and Canada. Players like McDavid, Eichel, Matthews, McKinnon, and others from the next generation were all on one team. It gave fans some of the most exciting action they've ever seen. And despite falling short with Canada ultimately winning that tournament as well, it showed everyone the speed and talent that the future of the game possessed. Except best-on-best hockey didn't come back. In 2017, the NHL made a controversial decision. Players would not participate in the 2018 Pyeongchang Olympics, citing scheduling conflicts, injury concerns, and a lack of financial incentive from the International Olympic Committee as key reasons. Then, once the pandemic hit, it heavily affected the 2021 and 2022 seasons, so the NHL again pulled the plug on the Olympics. To have the modern talent of the NHL not participate in best on best, it was a shame, and the league needed to figure this out. So, at the 2024 NHL All-Star Game, they sat down and came up with a version of best on best hockey, which was the Four Nations. This tournament would replace the next year's All-Star Game and include 4 major hockey countries in Canada, the US, Sweden, and Finland. The format was simple. Each team would play 3 games, and the top 2 teams would advance to a 1-game final to determine the champion. Fans were on the fence. The omission of countries like Russia, Czechia, Germany, and others meant it wasn't truly best on best. Also, no one knew what to expect. Throwing together basically a made-up tournament had fans skeptical about whether or not the players would even care themselves. Undoubtedly, though, there was talent dripping from every roster. But a team that had Sidney Crosby, Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, and Connor McDavid all on one squad meant that Canada were the slight favorites over Team USA. But the States had a monster roster of their own. Led by one of the greatest goal scorers of this generation in Austin Matthews, he was accompanied by the Tkachuk brothers and the hottest goalie on the planet in Connor Hellebuck. The US came out of the gate wanting to prove that the future of hockey runs through them. So they kicked off the tournament in Montreal, and in Game 1 against Finland, they dominated with a 6-1 win while both Tkachuk brothers shined with 2 goals each. It was a blowout and the complete opposite of what we'd see between Canada and Sweden. With the Montreal crowd waiting to pop for their country, a power play goal from McKinnon assisted by McDavid and Crosby got all 21,000 plus giddy at what they just saw. The momentum was flowing, and a few minutes later, Brad Marchand would bury one home to make it 2-0 at the end of the first. But Sweden wouldn't go away easy. Defenseman Jonas Brodin would sift one home through traffic to cut the lead to 1, and even after a Herculean play from captain Sidney Crosby set up goal number 3 for Canada, Sweden responded right back with 2 goals of their own to tie the game and send it to overtime. Both teams had heart-stopping chances to win this game, but Canada would strike last.
He's in! Marner! It's Marner! In overtime!
With both Team USA and Canada winning their first game and set to face off in Game 2, it meant that the winner would solidify their spot in the final. The anticipation of this game was palpable. Aside from all the hype around best-on-best hockey, there was some political tension between the two countries, with the U.S. President Donald Trump imposing tariffs and dropping comments about Canada being the 51st state. Canadian crowds started to boo the American anthem at both NHL and NBA games. Emotions were running hot, and the players could feel it. For most of these guys, it was one of, if not the biggest games of their career. And as puck drop got closer, the tension seemed bound to boil over. And right away, that is exactly what happened.
We're going to drop the gloves right away. Matthew Tkachuk and Brandon Hagel. Sam Bennett, Brady Tkachuk. We might have more. Parayko and Miller.
In just 9 seconds and 3 fights later, the tone was set for this game. There was no tiptoeing into this, and any concern about the players not caring went right out the window. The pace of this game was at another level that we had not only seen in years, but maybe ever with these caliber of players all on one ice surface. And on home soil, Connor McDavid would be shot out of a cannon and give Canada an early 1-goal lead. But Team USA stayed patient, and they played 60 minutes of damn near perfect hockey. For all the weapons and firepower Team Canada had, the state structure in the neutral zone was suffocating, and any rare mistake Canada did make, Team USA turned it into 2 goals while completely cutting off the Canadian offense. A massive 3-1 win for USA Hockey not only served as some really juicy bragging rights, but it also booked them their ticket to the final. The viewership of that game put up historic numbers, and if Canada wanted revenge, they would need to beat Finland outright to get another shot. So, Canada's best led by example. With goals from McDavid and McKinnon, they dominated for 53 minutes straight to take a 4-0 lead. Things did get a little hairy with the Finns scoring 3 straight with a little under 7 minutes left, but as usual, Captain Sidney Crosby would get the empty netter and bring us to this moment here. TD Garden for the rematch, as an historic 16.1 million viewers watch on to see what happens next. The puck drops and the energy is electric. Early in the first, Canada gets the party started again with Nathan McKinnon scoring from range. However, Team USA is more than willing to copy the script from Game 1. Brady Tkachuk bangs one home to tie it, and the momentum of the goal and crowd goes right to the legs of Team USA. They hem Canada in their own end with a flurry of chances, and it ends with defenseman Jake Sanderson cleaning up the garbage to make it 2-1 for Team USA. And what feels like a complete deja vu from Game 1 for Canada, a rare rush chance opens up late in the second period for Sam Bennett, and he ties the game up at 2s. After 60 minutes of play and an entire tournament leading up to this inevitable clash between these two countries, this game deserved OT. And the States looked ready to end it early, but they kept running in to this man, Jordan Binnington. See, coming into this tournament, the wide consensus of Canada's roster was that their glaring weakness was in goal. Between Jordan Binnington, Sam Montembeault, and Aiden Hill, it was really no match for Team USA's goaltending, who had the reigning Vezina winner in Connor Hellebuyck. With Binnington getting the nod throughout this tournament, his play has drawn criticism at times, but his reputation of being a clutch performer for when it matters most has earned him this opportunity. And twice in this overtime, he delivers.
Gibson in front. Matthews denied. Another pass left. Rebound. Oh, Binnington! Did you see that?
Although Team USA was pressing in OT, Canada would get a crucial face-off in the offensive zone with some of their top weapons on the ice. Despite how good defensively Team USA has been in this tournament, Canada came extremely close to tying Game 1 by using a set rim play to change sides and then find McDavid in the slot for a grade A chance. So, with defenseman Cale Makar seeing an opportunity to do the same thing with a rim puck down low to Mitch Marner, a slip-up in coverage has all of a sudden left the greatest player on the planet alone in the slot. That is Connor McDavid. Since way before McDavid even entered the league, He was touted to be the next one, the player that would grab the torch from Sidney Crosby and lead Canadian hockey into the next generation. At 28, individually, McDavid has won every possible award and lived up to the hype. But when it comes to cups and Olympic gold medals, McDavid is still waiting for that defining team moment in his pro career. And while this isn't for a gold medal, he's got a chance to cement himself in Canadian hockey lore in the exact same way his predecessor did 15 years ago against Team USA. All the anticipation, tension, and funny bounces have led to this moment here. A 28-year-old Connor McDavid with the game on his stick. The rest is hockey history.